Everybody out on a day. What's good? Today I don't do too well. I swear I'm a bit under the weather. You know, but I feel better. I feel better today past yesterday. No, you can have it. Except you want to do on that one, take it. So yeah, let's go. But before we start today, let me first of all use this to yab a lot of our favorite Africans. All our favorite Africans all over the world. Let me yab them small before we proceed. So yeah, what's good with all our every black person we see on TV look the same, act the same, talk the same, behave the same, dress the same, you know, I mean, keeping it real. This is our keeping it real mantra. You know, I did with one of my friends, you know, she said she like Cardi B. I said, why she like Cardi B, you know, because I listen to the music, you know. Because, you know, like me now, 90s kid, growing up in the 90s, I'm a hip-hop head too, you know. So for me, I love hip-hop, but I love, for me to like rapper, you know, you must get skill. Not be just say hype, you know, you must get skill. Not be just say you should be brag with your rhymes. There must be some intelligence in the way you put it together, you know. So that for me, and one of the greatest things for me. So I don't see those things. I don't like a rap, Joe. She can't even tell me, not be because of the rap. She like Cardi B. Say she don't even really like Cardi B music. I say really, she like Cardi B because Cardi B keeps it real. I do like this. Real. She say yes, Cardi B keeps it real. So it got me thinking a lot about this, about keeping it real mantra. You know what it means to keep it real. So I can't check Cardi B out, you know, like opening her pussy on her this thing, Instagram, belligerent, you know, always on top of her voice, that do like this anyhow she like. I say, oh, is this what it means for African women to keep it real? You know, because for me, keeping it real also has to do with grace. You know, why is it that it's not African women acting graceful that is keeping it real? Then I can't realize, say, this keeping it real, this behavior, that is the American version of it too. Then Cardi B own the American version. This is Nicki Minaj when they talk. These are the American version. If you look Nigeria too, all our actresses throwing themselves on the ground. Hey, Yahweh, hey, my shape, whoa, I can't realize this is not the only Cardi B they keep. This keeping it real is global in the African community, you know, and all our men too, you know. I mean, men and women, everybody. This one is the same. See, let me tell you something. Back in the day, before an African can be allowed to mix in society without being arrested or locked up under slavery, you know, when they carry us as slaves globally, you know, the sign of your ownership by white man, you see, the white man will take a name. The white man will take a name. You go put down for when they call am hot iron. Take this name, put down for your body, so that everybody can see that is your owner. The name they call them brand. Yeah, somebody there. Yeah, you're right. They call them brand. You know, they brand someone. They branding. They don't put their name for your body. Then the chains. You know, the chains. You got to wear the chains. And the bigger the better. The bigger your chain, you know, the better for your slave master to know it got you locked. You know, so, and then when you look at all our favorite blacks, see, now, me, I'm not against wearing designer clothes. Don't even get me wrong. I'm not hating on that. The richest designer clothes of white people, everybody. But the thing is, when you see rich white people wear designer, Gucci, you can never see them wear the one with Gucci like this. maybe the flag will be small, hidden somewhere. Maybe they will just take just the tag, normal plain shirt, Gucci shirt, normal plain Gucci trouser. But no, not for our own favorite too. Not for our keeping it real. If we never wear the one where they just put the white man name for all your body like this, where I make everybody know, say, this white man is validating my life. Look at my life. Just, that's what they call it, branding. So I can't realize everybody is just still behaving like slaves from 200 years ago, losing our mind over brand, white man name all over our body, What's up with that? Everybody does it. Why do we all do it? Why everybody, every black person we see for TV must always be like this? It's weird for me. This keeping it real, and money over everything. This keeping it real crowd, Let me tell you, when they say money over everything, this now their way of saying I don't give a fuck about what is happening with African people. Because money over everything is the most stupid mantra that you can ever come up with. When we are doing you only live once, YOLO. When we're only doing YOLO, that one was stupid. I never thought we could come up with something more stupid than YOLO. But now we have come up with it. Money over everything. How they look at. So money over your children. Money over your children. You don't mean that. You don't mean money over your children. You just mean you will take money over the suffering of African people any day. Say if they offer you money, you will work for the suffering of African people. That is what you are saying. That is what these black people are saying. But when they say money over everything, please, I am sure in my life that you don't mean money over their children. Are you going to take money over your children? Is money more important to you than your children? I don't get it. So all these things, because you understand, and everybody's hype about all this material shit, and the things are ugly. I'm sorry. All these bags you people carry all over, they are ugly. I'm sure if a Nigerian person was making these ugly bags and these ugly ass shades, none of you will buy it. None of you will buy it. You only buy it because of the white man name that is put on top of the goddamn thing, So this is why I don't get this. Why everybody is just so the same? You don't see any African that we celebrate, that is serious, that is focused, about what we need for us to. Everybody is just on this club life, night life. Everybody is all about this expensive clothes, private jet. Everybody is the same. And black people are not the same. I know for a fact that we are not monoliths. So this is why I don't understand why our representation on the media, you understand, the representation by the media of African people just look like we are all the same. We are all the same, chasing the same things, interested in the same thing. Yes, a good number of us are in this, but the majority of African people do not even have access to these things. This is the truth. The majority of African people do not even have access. We don't have access. So what's going on? Our keeping it real must not be about being intelligent. Why is keeping it real not about being intelligent? I don't get it. Because when I see some people talking about keeping it real, I realize that when they say keep it real, it means when they talk down on poor people, or when your poor friend tries to tell you are fucking up. You can tell him, man, I got more money than you, man. Get the fuck out of my face, man. You can tell me shit, man. I don't get this keeping it real, though. I don't get it. But it's not our fault, I'm just surprised that everybody I see is just the same. All footballers are the same. All actors are the same. All musicians are the same. All athletes are the same. And because that's all we do. Black people, we don't do more than that in this world anymore. We are not the ones creating the foremost technology. All our children want to be actors. All our children want to be musicians. All our children want to be footballers. And we are encouraging them. Everybody is buying, making sure, turning their children to child actors, doing skits. Everybody wants to, is fame. Black people is all about fame. You know, I don't understand what we are doing in terms of nation building, in terms of, you know, Africans have to now start thinking about not only having the fastest runners or the man that can kick ball the farthest or manipulate football with skill or that can sing with his best voice. We also need now to be creating the best lawyers, the best doctors in the world. We also need to be creating the best engineers. This is the problem. We cannot only be artistic. The world is not artistic only because, see, we as artists, we are controlled by the industry of the whites. Because what happens is now is that we use all this our talent as artists. You must still now use it to go and work for the betterment of other people. Last year, about the music business made about $7 or $8 billion. The music industry, 7.8 billion they made last year. Music last year, the whole money, 7.8 billion. Do you know how much came to artists? 12%. Only 12% of that money was earned by musicians. So the people even making the most money from music do not sing at all, do not dance, do not write music. They sit down in offices and control we that do. Do you understand what I'm saying? Only 12% of all the money that music made came to artists. So even though we are the best musicians, do you think the most money of football goes to the footballers? Do you think Kelechi Iheanacho and Ndidi are making as much money as the manager of the club first, the coach? No. Now go to the board of directors, then the owners. No, they're serving. So we must change this system. We must find a way that they understand that we are, even if those Africans that are the most visible of us, that are more, they must now insist on showing that true representation of all Africans. We all look too much the same on TV. I'm tired. Africans look too much the same on TV. Doing the same thing, saying the same words. Nobody makes it like that. We are not a monolith. We are not the same. And we are not the same. You don't think the same. I mean, look at the division in our country alone. You will know that for sure. Africans are not the same. You know, so this for me is crazy that the world wants to portray us as only like this. You know, all the men are gangsters, all the women are bitches, crazy bitches and crazy gangsters. Is that what we are really? Crazy bitches and crazy gangsters with money. Is that what we are, black people? I don't think so. I don't think so, you know. So now, let me move straight to the topic of the day. I've discussed this topic before, but only we did romance, love and robot. You know, now I want to do this love thing deeper, because a lot of people reached out to me when I was talking about, I spoke about love in one of my bird eye view when I was talking about the whole Two-Face saga, just briefly, like how people always want, you know, to use people's families for entertainment, and how we must understand that love is more powerful than we think it is. And I was saying that how people don't practice love, you know. Now, when people say they're in love here, what I realize that they are saying is they are in control. I want to repeat. When people say that they are in love here, what I realize is that they say that what they mean is that they are in control of. In control of. When I say, oh, I'm in love with BC, it simply means the boy is saying, I am in control of BC. That is love is now, when a girl says, I'm in love with Segun, the girl is saying, I'm in control of Segun. Mr. Bubble Special is asking me the time where I take Rhoda weed. First of all, why are you sure it's weed I'm smoking? Eh? And if you are sure, why are you a snitch? Why are you a snitch? Eh? Mr. Bubble, don't be doing like this in public. Don't be doing like this in public. But at the same time, skill ball. So yeah, let me go back. So I'm going to put it to you today that when I see the relationship between parents and their children in Nigeria, I find that many parents don't even love their children. All they do is be in control of that child. You understand? To be in control of that child. If the child refuses to be controlled, I've seen parents throw their children out of the house. To prove a point, you cannot make it without me, and you're not letting me control you, leave my house. Parents beat their children up because the child did not do what they want or did not conform to their image of what a child must be. So that is not love, it is ownership. People have been programmed to only love what they can own, because we live in a value system of capitalism where the only things of value are things that can be owned. The capitalists want you to believe that anything that cannot be owned has no value. They might be making noise all their life about climate change, blah 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 blah. But the reason there's climate destruction, environmental destruction that is leading to climate change is because capitalists do not respect the value of forest that is not owned by anybody. So they get up, go to that forest, and they destroy it. They don't care about the sea because they cannot own the sea. So they pollute it. But you cannot throw chewing gum inside your swimming pool. If you throw one chewing gum inside a rich man's swimming pool, what do you think it's going to do to you? You're going to go and remove the chewing gum immediately from his swimming pool. But they can be dumping toxic waste in the sea constantly. There can be pipeline explosion, dumping millions of liters of crude oil, destroying the natural environment. That for them, because they don't own, they cannot own. The rivers of the world are polluted, are destroyed, because they cannot own it. It cannot be respected. It cannot be loved. It cannot be of value. What is the value of the sea? I always wonder, because many times economists come all over the world, they calculate the GDP of your country, but what is the value of the sea? Have they told us how much the sea is? They cannot tell you how much the sea is. So, because there's no amount of money for the sea, it is of no value. It can be polluted, it can be destroyed. Anything can happen to it. Because love in the capitalist mentality is tied directly to ownership. Because ownership is the only means that this system recognizes value. So now we have been brainwashed, indoctrinated into this system. right? In one of my earlier but that time we used to call they call Bird Eye View home sessions. I don't talk about why did they beat us for school, right? Why teachers they beat us for school for Nigeria and in Africa in general. Why our parents they beat us for house, spare the rod and spoil the child, We forget say the Oyibo when they tell you say spare the rod and spoil they beat their children for they see their life, then they beat their children no matter what their children say or do. You understand? So waiting they cause where our own educational system is so brutal to children. Now because now Oyibo teachers, when did they teach the first African doctors, the first African lawyers, the first African engineers, the first African educationists, all these people, the Oyibo people were maltreating them because they were teaching them from a place of hate. But they were telling them that is how to love. That is how to teach, sorry. That's how to teach. That's the only way to make somebody learn. You have to be hard on them. These Africans, you Africans don't have brain. You are savages, you are monkey. So we are teaching you, That's the way. After they learn from their Oyibo masters that were teaching them from a place of hate, they now normalize the behavior. Because that's the only way where they take reconcile. This Oyibo way that they look up to, where they act so brutal to them, it must be love. It must be the only way. So they normalize this brutality. They normalize this, callousness and brought it into our society as normal. You understand? So now, to go any classroom, teacher could say for an African child to learn, he must beat the African. And the poorer the child, the more beating the child needs. You understand what I'm saying? So now there all these things from come, this our mentality of brutality in learning and in the homes. Because we are also now in our homes. From the school now in the homes too is polluted by this ownership ideology of love. So when you don't own something and you cannot own someone, so let me tell you, if you are in love with somebody, that's why they talk say if you love something, let it go. If it comes back, it is yours. Abi, let me tell you, let me burst your bubble, ladies and gentlemen. You can no longer own somebody. Owning of people is now generally illegal. Slavery is done. You cannot own anybody. You are not in control of anybody. You are not in control of anybody. You can't own anybody. We approach our relationships from a place of ownership. This thing is mine. Your children are not yours. No human being is yours. They are with you, but it's yours like property. No. You understand? Wife is not your property. Husband is not your property. Your children are not your property. Your girlfriend is not your property. Your boyfriend is not your property. Love is not ownership. Humanity now, we must be able to love that which we do not own. It is impossible for people to love things that they do not own or they do not connect with, that does not benefit them. And that is where love is wrong. That is why we are getting it wrong. The love of those things that we do not own. For example, your nation, your country. No one person, no human being own. It's for everybody. It is hard for us to love Nigeria because we know Nigeria is for everybody. Sheirot say, am I in a relationship? I am married. I'm married. Relationship. Me, I don't marry. Nobody love Nigeria because we believe we don't own it. It's not our own. Nigeria is for everybody. Right? So the things we will not go accept for our own personal household, we allow it to happen in Nigeria because it is not. We don't know that part of love. We tie love to those things that we own only. So if you have a girlfriend now, right, that you cannot control, many people find it difficult to love such a woman. They'll say, you know the year word. Let's say that your staff. Let's say that your staff. People want to be in control over others. This is the toxic love that we practice in our society. People want to be in control over other human beings and disguise this control as love. I love you, so you must do what I say. You must live the life that I want. You must be what I want you to be. You must see the world the way I want you to see. You are... And it's always tied to economic incentive. You see, the reason why people say it is men that control is because it is men that have most money in the world today. If you see relationships now where women are the ones having the money, my brother, it's the same behavior. In control ni. In control ni. It is a we are meaning everybody is a oppressive relationship, is an oppressive expression. You see that they don't come. Being submissive, okay, let me talk to this submissive issue. Somebody here says she's meant to be submissive. The man too is meant to be submissive. This is what we don't discuss. This is the part of this submissiveness that men don't discuss, that Christianity and Islam has used their life to erode in your brain. The man must be submissive the way the woman is submissive. Do you know what we are submissive to? We are submissive to our culture. We are submissive to a common goal. You and I, in this relationship, in the context of our culture, have our goal that we submit to. You submit to that goal, not to the man or to the woman. Even the man is submitting himself. Because on your journey of that goal, to that goal, sometimes the woman has to lead. Because she's the one that knows that path. You put pressure on yourself as men when you think you must lead your women all the time, thinking that you as a man know all the paths. Whereas men even know less of the paths than women. Are you joking me? This submissive that you are doing is a Christian and Islam submissive. The true submissiveness is not to a person, it's to an ideal. The ideal of the relationship. Yes, say submit yourself to one another. Don't take it out of context. The man is the head, sha. They put the man in the head. Don't take it out of context. Bible that the Abrahamic religion that creates women as an after. I keep saying this thing that I don't understand how women in the world can be Christian, Muslim, or this Abrahamic religion. I don't understand it. Oh, you see, because this is their God. Even for God to create women, say he forgot. He had finished creating. He has done 6 days. He has rested. That it was done. Everything was perfect. His work was done. He rest. After he can't see say Adam is bored. Say, this Adam is bored. Let me find something to keep him company. He come from the keep him company, bring woman. After thought. And as if na come, una spoil all in plan. All in plan. As woman come, woman spoil all the plan. Oh, women don't suffer for that religion. We submit to an ideal. We submit to an ideal, not to a human being. Men, women in a relationship must submit to an ideal. And that ideal, we as African people, we must submit to an ideal of African consciousness and African liberation. That is what we are submitting ourselves to in this relationship. As my husband is carrying that mantle forward, I am submitting to him. If my wife is carrying it forward, because that is what we are here for. Submitting in a relationship is not about man and woman submitting to one another. No. If somebody comes to attack us in our house, I expect my wife to submit to me immediately. Go to my back. Let me face these people. That's why the ancestors gave me bigger chests than yours. Does that mean that my wife go try to do something in this battle? She said, "Go they try pour pepper, pour hot water, do something." But this is my battle. This is where we are in the relationship too. When it comes to the fact that let's discuss how to make peace. Women are more in tune with diplomacy, peacemaking, and all those other things, intuition. Women are generally more intelligent than men. So if issue need more thinking, submit to your wife. Tell her, say, my darling, I want to make you help me think this matter. You're surprised what your wife can tell you immediately in that matter. All your guys can't tell you that. You know? Women know stuff. They know more than guys. Because guys brag a lot to women too. So women know shit. Trust me. But in Africa, nobody submit to anything. We just submit economic incentive. You know, who hold pass? Give me a second. Who hold pass generally just controls what happens in the relationship. That's all. And in Nigeria, you know, many men are in home, and men they hold. So, but the one say that the woman they hold, that the woman they. Now that women are becoming more and more people. Now in this, now in our time, that women are becoming more and more free. That women are becoming more and more economically independent. Can't you see them divorcing their husband every second? Before you talk pay, hey, okay, wait. Don't pack all their load and out. There is no submitting to anything. You are not feeding me. So this submission is a myth. The only thing African people would think about submitting to is an ideal. And in this relationship, we submit to the ideal of African liberation. That is what we submit to. You understand? If you betray that, you lose the respect of the person in the relationship. Case closed. Case closed. So that's what we must change. All these submits. This thing don't take me off my. This submits. When I hear submissive, they always. But anyway, that's about that. So back to the original topic I was discussing. So the programming now of this world is that we only value those things that we can own. So owning something, you know, comes from buying. You know, you buy something, you own it, you put it in your house, and that thing that you own must serve your interest. And serve only your interest. And we use that mentality, you know, to relate with human beings. It can't work that way. It is toxic. It is wrong. I don't believe that human beings must own one another before they can find value in one another. I don't feel humanity must own something before they can find value in that thing. You know, we as human beings all over the world, we must begin now to expand our ability. Expand our ability of love. Because the capacity of love that we have as human beings is so big. But we minimize it because we allow television and media to control, to tell you what you can love, to tell you what to love. You understand? So, I mean, I keep saying it. We sit down in Nigeria, this our Nigeria here in our own country, we'll be hearing how our people are being killed. We cannot expand ourselves to actually understand that, to feel it, to really feel it. We can't. This love that they've taught us, this love that they've taught us to love, limits our ability to expand ourselves in love. So our love is so tight, so constrained. We are so busy in that small love. We are so busy monitoring your girlfriend. You are so busy monitoring your boyfriend, monitoring your husband, checking up on your husband, making sure he's doing what you say. You're making sure that you cannot actually live and love all the things you are supposed to love. This love constrains you. It's so difficult to maintain. You have to be buying things all the time. You have to be, so you can't really just cool down and love, That's a good point. Yeah, I don't know, OQSIF. How do you pronounce this name now? Suppression of divine feminine energy is the problem. Yeah, not even divine, even physical feminine energy, the suppression of it. Because I always tell people, like, when I hear feminists talk these days, they sound like men. They sound like if you are a woman, you are weak. That women should be behaving like men. I don't understand that. That's the part I don't understand, because it's this manly behavior that is destroying the world. If the world needs to heal itself, it needs to find a new behavior, not for everybody to tap into this behavior that is already destroying everything. So when I see feminists praising themselves for tapping into the behavior that is destroying the world, I know that there's something fishy going on there. I don't support it. So anyway, back to what I'm saying, so our ability to love those things that we do not own, the orphans of this world, to make sure that this is why public things don't work. Public education can't work. Public healthcare can't work. Public transportation can't work. Nothing, public housing can't work. Our environment cannot be clean because we lack the capacity to care for it. Because public means nobody owns it. Public means nobody owns it. Right? Public means it is for poor people. That's the thing. To accept public means that you accept that you are poor. Only poor people go to public school now. So why will you fight for public school when your plan is to be rich? Why will your plan be to fight for public school when your plan is to be rich? So, hey, I'm not going to be tied in this public school problem. I'm going to be rich. So, public school is poor man problem. And I don't, who loves poor people? Oh, nobody. We yap them all the time. We make fun of them. We tell them that they are cursed by God because they lack anointing. They need to pray harder. They need to be more godly. So, it is the lack of capacity to love what we do not own. That is what's causing the problem. We lack the capacity. And it's because love in our mindset, in this toxic capitalist system that we operate in, love has been tied exclusively to ownership. Love has been everybody wants to be VIP. So how can a country where everybody is obsessed with VIP have anything public growing? You can't. Everybody wants to be VIP here. Everybody wants to be in fact, we have VVIP. We have VVVVIP. We now have Platinum VIP. We now have Diamond VIP. So even the VIP, you're right, it's competition. Even the VIP is competing with itself. VIP, VVIP, VVV. So we must be able to begin to love things and people. We have to love our nation and the people that we do not own, that we have no blood ties with, but recognize their humanity. And then those people that we are close to, those people we are close to, we must begin to love them better. Not like our property. Your child is not your property. Your son is not your property. Your daughter is not your property. You know, when people talk about how African people favor male children more than female children, I always laugh because, you know, in my language, for example, in Yoruba, there's no word for son or daughter. There's male, female, you know, ako, abo, male, female. There's man, woman, okunrin, obirin. But there's no word like for son or daughter. You know, Yoruba used to say omolomonje, you know, because every child has to be given the ability, you know, have the opportunity to become in our own original system, whatever it is that they want it to be, you know. So, anyway, so we must be able to, you know, many people even love their wristwatches more than human being. I'm telling you. Not for the simple fact that the watch is expensive. It's not because he bought an expensive watch that he loved the watch more than somebody else. But just because, yo, this watch is mine. I own this watch. This is the first criteria of love. Do I own this person? So how do you now resolve that? Many times the resolution is violent. It ends in violence. You know, because people now begin to fall in love with things that they do not own. Some people go and fall in love with stripper. For example, you go and fall in love with stripper. But because you are not sharp, you understand? To know that it is okay to love a stripper. You are in love, you're in love. You should be happy that you are in love. Love is a positive feeling. You should be happy. But instead of you to be happy now, you try to want to own that stripper to validate the love that you feel. You begin to beat the girl. They do am anyhow, so that she can become a property, so that she can become yours. Somebody that has decided she wants to be for the world. But there's nothing wrong with loving somebody that wants to be for the world. I'm telling you, there's nothing wrong with it. Especially when you knew before you enter. Especially when you know before you enter. Now, don't get me twisted. If you meet a girl that's acting like she wants to be owned, you are now there loving this girl that is a church girl, without knowing that this church girl is a stripper on the side. Then you now find out that she's a stripper on the side. You're now insisting that she hold up your original agreement. I do that one I understand. You know, you shouldn't agree for somebody to take you on the ride like that. But knowing fully well that this girl is a stripper, or the equivalent of stripper in the male world, the equivalent of female stripper is not male stripper, is musician. Let me repeat. The equivalent of the male version, the male version of female stripper is not male stripper. The male version of a female stripper is a musician. I'm dead though. See, let me tell you something. Let me tell you. The male equivalent of a female prostitute is a male prostitute. You get me? The male equivalent of a female prostitute is a gigolo, a male prostitute. Bam. But you see, the male equivalent of a female stripper is a musician and athlete. Musician and athlete. Musician and athletes. We are the ones doing the work. We are the ones doing the work of the stripper on the main side of the spectrum. So, you know, you marry a stripper, or you're in love with a stripper, or you're in love with a musician, and you start crying, you know, I can't own him, I can't control him, this is my love. Come on. Come on. It is okay to be in that love. Trust me. It is okay. Don't let anybody make fun of you. Don't make anybody laugh at you. Let them know that love is not ownership. Love is not ownership. Female musicians are the equivalent of male strippers. You know, male strippers, they don't get action, you know. Only, you know how they get their own action, you know. Back eaves, you know, girls only want to go crazy with, you know, male strippers don't get to go crazy very often. At least, to my knowledge. In fact, I've never seen a male stripper. In my life, I have never seen a male stripper, you know. So, you know, so male stripping is how will I put it? Niche taste. Is a niche, you know, is niche. So female musicians, you know, they can't be like male musicians, you know. Maybe they want to be, but you know how you people are in society. You know how people are in society. You will give them bad name, you will demote them from musician to prostitute and all of that. So, you know, they can't be like the male. You know, they can't be like the male, you know. So I think, you know, female prostitutes is to male musicians as male strippers is female strippers are to male musicians as male strippers are to female musicians, you know. Booking only. Bookings only. You get me? It's true. Musicians are really loose. Look at musicians and athletes. You know, I mean, I know a lot of them. I only know one musician that is a good guy, that doesn't do all these things that all of us do and misbehave all over. Vector. Vector is the only Vector is the only good guy that I've met. Doesn't cheat on his girlfriend. You know, and me, Vector, Praise, Lekon, King Kong, which of us don't cheat on our girlfriend that I know? Two-Face, my brother Femi, who again do I know that doesn't cheat as a musician? So that's me, my brother, Vector, Praise, Two-Face, who again do I know for fact? Because I know fact. Who again? There are plenty, not too much of us, just a few of us like that I know, you know, very good. We don't do all those kind of but the rest of us athletes and not bad. And Lekon King Kong, Agbanoki, Lekon my guy for this thing, South Africa. Good boy. They do all those things. I know for a fact. For a fact. So now, back to the topic. All over the crazy. You people like to let me digress from the topic I'm talking about. So yeah. Oh, who is this person? The Banj. You will let my president invest for me. The Banj. You see all this name where I call so. Two-Face, me, my brother, Vector, Praise, Lekon King Kong. You see Two-Face, and you see the Banj. As we good rich, the Banj is better pass all over. In fact, a man like the Banj, there's no two of the. If you find the Banj, you found a good man. You're just unlucky, ladies. He's married too. All of us good men, we are married. They don't carry all of us come up for market. You know. So yeah, that's it. Who else? Well, that's it. Those are the ones I know for fact. Thanks for reminding me about the Banj. My friend. He's a very good guy. He doesn't cheat at all. If you carry the Banj go club like this, you don't even look woman. Don't say they always wear shade. You know they no time. Yeah, so most people have equated love with being in control. You understand? So for them, before they can be in love with someone, they have to be in control of that person. And this is mimicking our society in general, the oppressive relationship we get with our elite, we get with our society, we get with our government. You know, the government only love those people that they can control. You understand? So we, being in this society, in this oppressive society, we equate proper behavior with the behavior of the elites. We think that these elites, they are, these are the examples of society. That's why many people use them as example. I want my father to be like this one. I want my mother to be like this one. Why can't you be like this one? Why can't role models, as they call themselves? So it is this behavior. So, and they do not care about those things that do not bow to them, that do not succumb to them. You understand? So this is how we run the country. So this is how we want to run our homes. We want to be in control. Instead of being in love, we want to be in control of your children. I guide my daughter, yes. I'm not just let her run around like a mad person, doing anything she likes. Because she has to understand from a young age that freedom doesn't mean you have to do anything you can do. Yes, you can do it, but there's also freedom in having self-discipline. There's freedom in stop. You not only go that is freedom. You understand? So at a young age, I have to start teaching her. So yes, that is not control. I'm showing her the world. She needs to know the world. I'm teaching. You can teach. Teach is not control. But I realize that many people want to control me. Full control. To make sure that that child cannot even think its own thought. I see their behavior. And I'm only people be complaining that Buhari is a tyrant. But you can't even let your children think on their own. My darling has come down. Hello, baby. Food, Abby. I'm going to bounce from this slide now. As you people have heard, I'm submitting to my wife's call to food. One day my madam say left to me in this family. Now only restaurant to go to eat because I can't cook nada. I don't know how to cook anything. So yeah, to cut long story short, so that we do not drag this live, we now mimic all this controlling behavior of our elite. We mimic it in our homes and cannot even give our children the ability to express themselves, so that you begin to know the kind of child that you have. Instead of you to take your time to know the kind of child that you have, you want to make the child what you want the child to be, but it's impossible. This is why African spiritual system is awesome. Everybody has come to this world with their own mission, with their own path. You cannot impose yourself on him because you are his father. You cannot impose yourself on her because you are her mother. It is impossible. You cannot live through that child. You cannot project yourself. Never. So we as African people must now begin to understand that we must begin to be in love with the people we say we are in love with, not in control. Not in control. But what I realize is that everybody is just trying to control other people. The way we are being controlled by those that we say we want to hate. You understand? And the whole thing about submission, there's no submission to a person. Both the husband and the wife are both submissive to an ideal. If the husband is holding up that ideal, you submit to him. When the wife is holding up that ideal, you submit to her. That's how the relationship works. The journey is not for one person to be in front all the time. At some point in the journey, your wife is in front. At some point in the journey, the husband is in front. And that is how it has to be. That is the mentality and the psyche that we have to be building in the world that we want to see today. We must begin to love the oceans, to save our planet. Because forget all these billionaires flying to space, going there, they want to go to Mars. I always ask people, what do you want to go and do in Mars? The same thing we have been doing here, Abi. You want to carry your nonsense from the earth and go to another place now and continue it, Abi? This is your bastard behavior. This whole earth that they've given you is not enough. You see how these people think? These capitalists? This whole earth, beautiful like this, nice that they give you, not enough. It's not enough. We have to now start going to Mars. Where next? Jupiter. Till we get to where? Then why they don't go sun? Why are they going back? They go front now, because what we are doing on Earth now in terms of this climate. And why are we not trying to go to Venus? It's because carbon gases, greenhouse gases, don't destroy the planet. You can't even see, you can't even breathe. You are done. So that's why they are going back. Do you know that for the whole world, for people in the world, if everybody in the world start living the way Americans live, we will need 4.2 Earths. So when people are saying they want Nigeria to be like America, I'm wondering, if everybody in the world starts to live like Americans, waste like them, pollute like them, humanity would need the resources of 4.2 Earths. There's nothing wrong in exploring. Somebody say there's nothing wrong in exploring our universe. There's something very wrong in exploring your universe when there's hunger in your planet. That money you're using to explore your universe, people in your planet have not eaten. They are living on the streets, caused by your own greed, your own excessive exploitation of that planet's resources. You are going to explore. To explore for what? What is out there? What is out there? What is out there that you want to bring here for our benefit? What? Exploring your universe. As if African countries are even going. Who is exploring the universe? Who? White people. Going to explore what? For what purpose? The way they explored Africa, Abi, they should explore the universe the way they've explored the world. Exploration, Mungo Park, Livingston, exploring. For what purpose? Explore for what purpose? You people don't ask. They are exploring. For what purpose? That you don't ask. So we are making progress. Progress to, because they make us feel like as long as the world is going forward. What is this progress? Define it. Define it. 70% of the world's oceans is still unexplored. 70% of the world's oceans is unexplored. When will they start to explore how to end hunger? When? I beg. And all these things is to create a sense of wow among we the people. Wow, they've gone to space. They are too much. Don't near them, oh, don't touch them. Don't look there. People where they go moon. That's why they do it. For what are they doing there? For what purpose? Explore. Well, let them be exploring. Let them be exploring. I even hope that they explore one day and go and jam something that will follow them back and come and teach all of us how to have sense here. That's what I'm just wishing one day. Said they just start one of this that they just say we're going to disturb some kind of people for that. Which people say this? They come here. When they want to come, let's go and meet them and show them something. When the aliens come, I'm joining them. I'll be like, aliens, listen. Whatever it is, I'm on your side. These civilizations got to go. I am on your side. Just take me with you. Aliens, take me with you. Take me. You know how Americans always say they are abducted by aliens? But no African man has ever been abducted by an alien before. It shows the level, you see, at least some things you have to understand some things from some perspectives. The situation of African suffering, we are still in the level of principality. Alien no fit come Africa come abduct anybody. But Europe and America, they are abducting them steady. But no African man has ever had alien encounter. Now ghosts we they see, ghosts and spirits. African man can see 5 ghosts in one day. We are the ghost. Our own is ghost, spirit, and demon. Now only Oyibo alien. No African man can come and tell me you have seen alien. For where? For where? Anyway, so what we need to do, as I said, is that we have to find a way to love our children and not be in control of, we the adults. Maybe it's too late for us. Maybe it's too late. Maybe it's too late for us. But we as Africans, with the children, we must begin to teach them that they innately, as you are, there's nothing you must do for me to love you. This is the thing. Many of our children believe that they have to score good marks in school to be loved at home. Many of our children believe that they have to be happy even when they don't feel happy to be loved at home. They believe that they have to keep their mouth shut and not express themselves for them to receive love at home. We must love our children regardless. We must embrace them and welcome them into our, don't welcome them because they live in our hearts. We must show them that they are in our hearts because they are. Not because they are doing good in school, not because they are respectful to all their elders or whatever reasons but these are the teachings that we give to them on the side. So that your love is not tied to your control. You understand? So that your love, is not tied to your control. Many people have mistaken this control thing for love, and we must understand that love is not ownership. African people, we must now expand that's why when our ancestors worship the ocean, Yemoja, they worship this is a subject to subject relationship. This is a subject to subject relationship. We are not in control of the sea. We worship the sea. We create a goddess, giving it human, so that we can relate subject to subject. He controls us, we control it. It is a dance. We respect the ocean because it gives us and respects us too. Not that, it's just a thing. It's just a body of water that brings wave. Fishes live inside. No, that's the relationship Africans have with the world. The mountains, we worship them. That place is the home of the gods. Don't go there. When Africans tell you don't go into this forest, it is what they call natural preservation. What Oyibo man today call environmental preservation. When they tell you in America that one forest now is a protected forest. Now Oyibo says this forest is protected. Nobody should go there and cut tree. But we Africans say a forest is protected for the gods. Nobody should enter there. Everybody will lose their mind and say it's demon worship. It's demon worship. That's how we preserve nature. Because Africans were one with nature. They say we are savage. Now they are saying everybody must go green. Africans, the original green people, were mocked, destroyed, killed, enslaved for being one with nature. Demonized for being one with nature. Now everybody wants to be green. But we Africans, we already have it in us, and we must build that capacity. This my topic today, it applies to love relationship of adults. I love my girlfriend, I love my boyfriend. Yes, it applies. But the core of it is for me for the protection of nature and our children. That we're able to now begin to know how to really act with the children. To understand that the love is not the control. You understand? Even in our own personal relationships, everybody wants to control their girlfriend, everybody wants to control their boyfriend. Don't look at this page. Why are you liking that? Don't look at this person. Why are you talking to this person? People want to be in control, not in love. The more they can control you, the more they say they love you. Makes no sense. The more somebody controls you, you say that is love. No. We must rise above that kind of love. We must rise above that kind of love to a love that, is understanding, not controlling. A love that is trying to make, that is trying to make the world better. So when you're even with somebody and the person is not good enough, that love is sticking there to make that person better. you know. But the love we do now is the love of competition and love of ownership, and you know, one is not working, you sell it away, you know, or cast it off, get a new one. You know. Anyway, that's another thing. But we must expand our hearts. We must expand our heart to the river, to our trees, to our seas, to even the air that we breathe. You know, the pollution of our air, because nobody can own it. You know, because nobody can put meter in the air that we breathe. They pollute it non-stop. We must be the ones to protect these things from a place of love. You know, and that is the love that I'm preaching today. You know. Yes, we are being taught that the things that you do not own, you cannot love. Love is being linked directly to ownership in our psyche. And that's what we must fight. And as I said before, my madam has come with food for me. So let me go and eat something, and then we'll do another bird's eye view next weekend. Before that, it's the people's perspective on Friday. So don't forget that. And have a good time. Ciao, everybody. Have a lovely Sunday. And I love you guys. Yeah.